Just to remind you that all our top stories are on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. To get us on the move, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. There's something else you can do: interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap on the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and then follow instructions to share your reports, pictures and videos. Well, some of those images have been coming into us, and let's look at some of them that we received today. From Ukut Vai, who lives in Warri, that's in Delta State, comes this picture of a bus which caught fire on the PTI Road, Efun, near Warri. Now, according to eyewitnesses, 10 persons were burnt to death, including a pregnant woman, while 4 persons escaped unhurt. Now here's another one from Olabode Lawal captured. He captured this sorry sight of a man struggling to maintain balance with his motorbike, which he used to carry this large quantity of meat. Lawal says some of the meat fell on the road and wonders the sort of health risk the consumers of the meat would be exposed to. And here's yet another one from Adegoke Joseph from Igondo here in Lagos. He sent in this picture showing the effort of the Joint Community Development Association of Dosu Ekuni to make their road motorable, having resolved not to wait any longer for the state government. Well, thanks so very much for sending in all your pictures of what's happening around you. Do keep them coming, as everything you send to us is important here on Channels Television. All right, over now to Abuja. Here's Linda Akigbe. Hey there, Linda.
Hello, Ijoma. Thank you for joining us here in Abuja. In its bid to step up the fight against insurgency in the country, especially in the north, the Nigerian Army has established a special operation unit. Known as the Nigerian Army Special Operation Command, the unit was established with the assistance of the United States Africa Command. This was announced at a forum on counterinsurgency and counterterrorism in Abuja. The command was designed as a low-level strategy to combat the threats of the Boko Haram insurgency in the country.
The Nigerian Army has re-strategized its operations to contain the threats of the Boko Haram in the northern part of the country. It announced the formation of a Special Operations Command as one of the new measures at a gathering in Abuja. The Special Operations Command is an effort to boost the transformation of the Nigerian Army into a force capable of meeting contemporary security challenges.
Armies worldwide are continuously developing strategies in the area of doctrines and equipment acquisition to enable them to mount and react to the changing nature of warfare.
NASO is a low-density, high-level strategic utility force capable of conducting direct action and low-visibility operations.
The new command, supported by the United States African Command, will focus on counterinsurgency and counterterrorism.
By bringing civilians into the process of governance and addressing their grievances, including through positive civil-military relations and successful civil-military operations, COIN operations can greatly reduce the recruiting pool for terrorist or insurgent groups.
We want a unit that would have the ability to sift the grains from the chaff, more accurate in their targeting, and therefore reducing incidences of collateral damage.
As a low-level command, coupled with the lessons learned from their U.S. counterparts, the Nigerian Army expects that the new command will contribute greatly in the fight against insurgency.
Mr. Charles Walker, brother of a convicted leader of the movement for the emancipation of Niger Delta MEND, is said to be facing mental health challenges following what his family and counsel, Mr. Festus Keyamo, describes as inhuman treatment in Kuje prison. A letter posted to Channels Television Online by Mr. Felix Amebioka on behalf of the Oka family claims that Charles has been administered a drug known as Epilim 200 to treat the damage of his neurological system, but that the drugs is having an adverse effect on him. According to the family and his counsel, Mr. Keyamo, if continued, the drug may result to complete memory loss, and the primary use of the Epilim 200 is for treatment of epilepsy, which Charles Oka does not have. Mr. Charles Oka is awaiting trial over the October 1st bombing in 2010 in Abuja. In the meantime, PHCN workers under the aegis of the National Union of Electricity Workers in Kogi and Osun states have joined their counterparts in other states to protest non-payment of their entitlements. The workers who staged their protest in their offices in Lokoja and Osogbo say they are tired of being treated as inferior human beings.
Disgruntled workers of the Power Holding Company of Nigeria in Lokoja, the Kogi State capital, they are carrying placards with different inscriptions, singing, dancing and praying, all in a bid to seek divine intervention to their problem.
Nothing takes you unaware. Father, you are aware of the situation we are passing through.
Soon enough, leaders of the group explained the reason for their gathering.
Over 5,000 of the people that work and without particularly 35 years in service, 5,000 of them are still on ground. They have not been paid their entitlement. What are we saying? This is against the agreement we entered with them. You know that. When on the 31st of October, they were busy signing and signing, the hope of Nigerians were raised that all labor-related issues will be settled within 30 days.
What we are saying, if you have an agreement, let us have our conscience intact in Nigeria when we are doing things. You can hear a whole Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria saying that the banks have been funded, and many of our members have not received these packages. What are we saying? Who is fooling who?
Solidarity forever, for the union makes us strong.
It's the same story in Osogbo, the Osun State capital. Members of the National Union of Electricity Employees in that state also hit the streets in a peaceful protest to press home their demands.
So we want the government to please employ the relevant agents to do justice to it and pay up as a matter of duty.
These PHCN workers and their counterparts in other states have only one thing in mind: to get a quick response from the federal government.
Also in the Federal Capital Territory, electricity workers trooped out to demand the payment of their terminal benefits by the federal government. The protest was held at the former PHCN Electricity Distribution Company in Wuse area of Abuja. The industrial action followed the expiration of a 14-day ultimatum given by the electricity workers in December last year as part of conclusion of all labor-related issues in the power sector. It appears that the dust has not settled over the issue of the payment of workers of the now-defunct Power Holding Company in Nigeria.
If we enter that office, we'll force you out.
These workers have gathered here in front of the former Power Holding Company office located at Wuse area of Abuja. With placards of various inscriptions, the former electricity workers expressed their grievances. They say government has not made any genuine effort to implement the agreements reached with the union in the sector. Officials of the union say over 25,000 PHCN workers have not been paid their terminal benefits.
The union sat down, signed an agreement, just like the ZOS have mentioned out here. We kept our own part of the agreement, but we are surprised. Maybe Mr. President may not be aware, and we are using this medium to pass the message to him that this is what we are going through.
President Goodluck Jonathan should ask questions from the BPE, the Minister of Power, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, where our money, 100 billion, over 100 billion, which is meant for the entitlement of PAs, disengaged PSN staff is.
We are sending a message to the government. We gave them 14 days to address issues affecting our agreements we had with the federal government.
But the Bureau of Public Enterprise said in a statement that it had settled the gratuity and pension of 43,375 former workers of the Power Holding Company of Nigeria. In a statement which was signed by the head public communications, Mr. Chibo Anichebe, the BP stated that the remaining 4.5% of the workers yet to be paid have issues of irregular staff identities and duplication of staff numbers and names. Mr. Anichebe called on the workers to be patient and assured that the issues will be addressed. The president has assured Nigerians that his administration will not be distracted from working diligently to bring its priority programs and projects to a successful conclusion. While felicitating with Muslim faithful across the country ahead of the Eid al-Maulud tomorrow, President Goodluck Jonathan promised to continue to act on its belief that only free, fair and credible elections can make democracy in Nigeria truly useful as a vehicle for development. In a statement signed by his advisor on media and publicity, Dr. Reuben Abati, President Jonathan asked Muslims to offer special prayers during the Eid al-Maulud for greater peace, unity and progress of Nigeria. The Delta State University Teaching Hospital, Ogara, has carried out its first renal transplant. Surgeons and nephrologists from the hospital, in collaboration with a medical team from the University of Texas Southwestern Medical Center in the United States of America, operated on both the donor and the recipient.
The first surgery, the donor surgery, is about 2 hours long. We're going to remove the kidney using a laparoscopic, minimally invasive technique, and that patient should be going to recovery. And by Wednesday morning, 2 days from today, he should be able to go home. The recipient is a little more involved. That surgery takes 2.5 to 3 hours. That patient has to be monitored for about a week in the hospital to make sure there's no signs of rejection, make sure the kidney is functioning well, make sure the drug levels are adequate, and then he or she will go home about 5-7 days after surgery and will come back to the hospital 2 or 3 times a week for monitoring of laboratories and exam and so on and so forth.
Kidney cases are becoming very rampant, and a lot of our people go outside Nigeria for treatment for such cases. And what we have done here really is to get this place equipped and also partner with University in America that will ensure that from time to time we are able to manage the cases here. The significance about this, what we are doing is that it makes it cheaper for the patients. Averagely, from what I've discussed with the MD, it costs about 1.5 to 2 million naira for the full cost of treatment. But you know that going outside, if I tell you, India, which is about the cheapest, sometimes costs the patient 6 million, 8 million. Of course, if you want to go to America, it's 20-something million. So if we're able to hit it at 2 million, or even less than that, to be much cheaper for our patients.
And that's all we have for you from the nation's capital. Back to you, Ijoma.
Well, thanks a lot, Linda. And indeed, medical science is amazing.